We are like a family, and the church is really becoming like a church when we feel we belong to a family. In everything there is a development. Please remember that. Nobody reaches maturity in 1 year or 2 years. No marriage becomes free from conflict in 1 or 2 years. But if you work at it, you can come to a wonderful life. That's what I can tell you from my experience. My life in the beginning, when after I was born again, I was very frequently discouraged and condemning myself. But that's gone. I'll tell you honestly, in my life, it's gone completely. I know how to obey the command which says, rejoice in the Lord always, 24/7. Not in my circumstances. My circumstances are still sometimes difficult. But I don't look at my circumstances. I rejoice in the Lord. He never changes. Some people think they have to rejoice in their circumstances. No. Rejoice in the Lord. Circumstances change. But the Lord never changes. That's why we can rejoice in the Lord always. God is always on the throne. My sins are always forgiven. The devil has been defeated 2,000 years ago. Those things never change. Christ is coming back and I'm going to be with Him for eternity. Those are the things I rejoice in. But on earth there are circumstances which I say, okay, what can I do about it? I will keep my mind fixed on the things that are above, where I have a Father who never changes. So that is the secret of rejoicing in the Lord always. Giving thanks in everything. It has also become true in my life after many years, because I really discovered that God makes it all work for good. What all does He make work for good? Everything. The evil that other people do to you, He'll make it work for good. And even more wonderful, the mistakes I have made in my life, He makes that also work for good. Think of the mistake that Adam made in the Garden of Eden. The biggest mistake the human beings ever made. But God made it work for good, that because of that, we saw the love of God in Jesus dying on the cross, which would not have happened if Adam had not sinned. If Adam had never sinned, and all of us were in the Garden of Eden, no sin, we would have believed that God is love, but we would never have seen the depth of His love like we see Him sending His Son to die for us on the cross. And that happened because of sin. Not that God appreciates or allows sin, but when man sins, God even turns that into something for good. So I've learned from that even my mistakes, because I used to sometimes condemn myself, Lord, that's not an evil somebody else did to me. Evil that somebody else did to me, I know you can make it work for good, because the evil that Joseph's brothers did to him, you made it work for his good. But what about the mistakes I myself have made? The Lord said, I am so almighty that even your mistakes, I can make it work for your good. I want to encourage all of you who've made mistakes in your life. God can make it work for your good. The blunders you made, the stupid things you did, which created so much confusion. We have all done it. I have made so many mistakes in my younger days that I would get first prize for a number of mistakes. I really feel that. But God has taught me so many lessons through those mistakes that I have become a better person. Not because of the mistakes, but because God made it work for good. So I want to encourage everybody here. Don't ever think that you'll come to the Christian life of victory overnight or in a few years. But if you press on, you will get there. One of our brothers once spoke at a youth camp in Tamil Nadu, saying, whenever you hear an older brother preach of a wonderful life of victory, don't get discouraged. Ask yourself how old he is and how old you are. You are 22 years old. How old is he? He was probably just as defeated as you are when he was 22. But he came to this life because he didn't give up. So the one advice I have for all of you is never give up. No matter how many times you fall, get up and say, one day sin will not have dominion over me. That's what I used to keep telling the devil. One of these days sin will not have dominion over me. And it became real.